Right, let's just start with a bit of background on Xander Gericke. So Donker starts where in the prologue Xander Gericke is 11 years old. He finds his dad with a pistol and an envelope in the study. And then it jumps to 6 months later. Xander is now 12. Dok has sent men to his father, Judge Gericke. And as far as we know, that's the last time Xander has seen his dad. He's presumed dead. So in his matric year, Xander launches a social engineering attack on Greg and his family. On page 158, you can read about that. And the reason for this is he wants to take revenge. Hy wil wraak neem. It says on page 18, there was a gemors met binnenhandel met aandele, this mess with insider trading. And also for the fact, as I've said, that his dad is presumed dead. And the people responsible, Greg's father was one of them. So when Xander hacked the school system, got himself into Lawson College, he used a pseudonym. Sy skuilnaam was Eckhart Vulcan. He was also a hacker, a kuberkraker. He taught Greg how to hack, and his hacker name was Echo, which we see in Donker. Greg leaves him a message on Echo's underworld on his blog. There's reference to Jeffreys Bay that also happened in the matric year. So the boys went on holiday to Jeffreys Bay, and one night Greg found Xander outside Nicole's bedroom, and he thought that Xander and Nicole had a bit of a fray. We find out now in Donker, Xander was actually there in the passage outside Nicole's bedroom because he'd just returned from Chris Owen, Greg's dad's computer. He was hacking his Voyager miles on South African Airways. Your frequent flyer miles are called Voyager miles. And Xander wanted to get a vliegtuigkaartjie, an airline ticket to go overseas when all the social engineering and everything was done, and he felt he'd had his revenge. So Nicole, of course, is Greg's ex-meisie. She appears again in Donker on page 66 when Greg goes home to Sandhurst for the Paasnaweek, the Easter weekend. And Colette now has a baby. Nicole now has a baby, Colette, a result of a one-night stand, doesn't know the name of the father. All she knows is he's from Cape Town. And Greg realizes that Nicole is a thing of the past. There's no hope for them ever rekindling their relationship. All this revenge of Xander has to do with Project Nursery Rhyme. So let's just look at that quickly. Project Nursery Rhyme was the brainchild of the three Vennote, the partners, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. And spoiler alert, if you didn't know, the baker is Sebastian Stadler. The butcher is Dok Pienaar. I'll go into more detail about him. He was the principal of Lawson College, where Greg and, then Eckhart, but of course Xander went to school. And the candlestick maker is Chris Owen, Greg's own dad. And when Xander, or Eckhart, as he was known in matric in Lawson College, when he taught Greg to hack, Greg uncovered the whole Project Nursery Rhyme, gave the info to the police, not knowing that his father was the candlestick maker, because that's the only code name that he had. So we'll get back to that. That's the red line going up there. So what Project Nursery Rhyme was about, a later virus in the flu jabs. They hid a virus in flu jabs, or the flu jabs were virally manipulated, viraal gemanipuleer. And the pharmaceutische maatskappy that was responsible for this was Plus Ultramed. So Dok Pienaar, Stadler, and Chris Owen were all part of Plus Ultramed, the pharmaceutical company. And when people started dying, mense het gesterf van hierdie griepinspuitings, but Plus Ultramed had the vaccine, and of course they made baie geld, lots of money from supplying the vaccine. Plus Ultramed, we also read about that in relation to John Owen, who is Greg's brother. The two of them were very much into adrenaline sport, like bungee jumping, rock climbing. It's on page 13. And Greg's brother John died from an overdose of pills, and they came from Plus Ultramed. And on page 211, Greg finally tells us what his dad told him the night when John died. Is Chris Owen, Greg's dad, said to him, "It could rather have been you." So a very fractured relationship between Chris and his dad. Which brings us to the red line. So when Greg uncovered Project Nursery Rhyme, he didn't know that his dad was the candlestick maker. So Greg is responsible that Chris Owen is now in die tronk. He's in jail. In Kgosi Mampuru, the second gevangenis, that's the jail, also known as C-Max. On page 62, you can read all about Greg's visit that same Easter weekend when he saw Nicole. Greg visits him, and also in the epilogue on page 308, Greg visits his dad and agrees to continue visiting his dad, even though his dad absolves him and he says, you don't have to come and visit me anymore. So hopefully that just gives you a little bit of background and some info